21st century skills, what do they look like? My name is Brad Flickinger, and I work as a technology teacher here in Colorado at Bethke Elementary, and it's my absolute pleasure to be here today and talking to you about 21st century skills. All right, let's get started. So when it came time for me to develop a project that would be just dripping in 21st century skills, I went right into the Atomic Learning website, logged in, went to their section on 21st century projects, found one that interested me, as well as worked well with my teacher, was appropriate for the age of students I was working with, and it was compatible with the platform I had in my lab, which was PC computers. So I found that, and it's called What's for Breakfast, and that's the one I went with. Here I am, day one. I'm introducing the subject to my students, the whole project and what it's going to be. And it's all about nutritional values of what typical Americans are having for breakfast and how those compare with students from the whole globe, the whole world. And so we're kind of looking here about how to read a label, what all these little parts are, and just introducing the idea of where this project is going to go. Now let's get into the 21st century skills. Okay, skill number one is outlined by ISTE, is creativity and innovation. Well, this was fantastic. Look at these students are blogging. They blogged every day they worked on the project. They were very safe because they only used their student ID number. But it was interesting that we asked them to blog on their feelings and reflections, kind of like a true blog, not just kind of a fill-in-the-blank worksheet, but how did they feel about different parts of this project? And so they had to blog every day. And as far as being innovative, this was just fantastic that fifth grade students were learning how to blog appropriately, comment on other people's blogs. It was great. So we were very happy with the creativity that came out of this project. Now, skill number two is communication and collaboration. So as far as this one is concerned, the students connected through Skype. Using ePals, we found another school, another fifth grade class down in Costa Rica, in a city called Escazú, Costa Rica. And they connected with them and shared information back and forth, talked to each other. And we picked that school because they're in the same time zone as we are here in Colorado. So when we say, let's meet at 1:30 on Tuesday afternoon, it was 1:30 for us as well as them. So it worked out great. And as far as collaboration is concerned, they used Google Docs and a spreadsheet, part of Google Docs, to enter information in from both schools. And we could do it live at the same time. So the students in Costa Rica were putting in their nutritional data, as well as the students here in America were putting in their data as well, all at the same time. And the graphs were changing. And they were having so much fun realizing that although they were thousands of miles apart, they were working on the same document at the same time. It was really great that way. Now, we did a lot of research for this project, and it was great. Right now, the students are watching a video about nutrition on the FDA website. So they have their little headphones on, but they dug into all different sorts of information about global hunger and the issues about this, as well as what's going on in America with obesity. They dug around all over the place, and it was really great to see the strong research component of this project. Now here we are at finally critical thinking and problem solving and those type of things. Students here are sharing information about what they've been collecting. And you can see this from this graph that the student is pointing out, the calorie intake of American students compared to other countries around the world, and how it's not just double, but it's even triple or more the calories that are being eaten for breakfast. And you can start to see their little gears turning inside their heads as they're drawing their own conclusions about what's going on here for breakfast, what is happening with American students. And behind that student's arm, you'll see that whole list that's behind him. Those are all the students that are live in this same document at the same time, so they can all collect and put information in at the same time, as well as chat on the side of that document. This is just amazing that they were able to do this all in real time and see the results for themselves. So they're drawing some pretty good conclusions here. Now moving on to another skill, which is digital citizenship. It was determined one day when they were having a Skype conversation with their new friends down in Costa Rica that they were eating, the Costa Rican students were eating gallo pinto every morning for breakfast, and the American students didn't know what that was. So they shared recipes. We had a mother here in our town volunteer to make that for breakfast one morning, and so here they are eating their beans and rice called gallo pinto, and they're having it for breakfast, and they loved it. It was really good to see them relate with other students across the globe on what they were eating for breakfast and drawing their own little friendships together on what that is. So they were later on, they Skyped this day saying, yeah, we ate your breakfast. It was really fun. It was good. So it was really interesting that they were walking in other students' shoes, being really good digital citizens about the world that's around them. And the last skill, as outlined by ISTE, is technology operations and concepts, where they're really learning the software that drives all this whole project. So here you see two students working on the same spreadsheet together. The girl's helping the boy enter some data in a cell there, and they just worked together so they understood it. But what was great about this project, it was skill. They were learning skills that had a purpose behind them. It wasn't just busy work. They were entering in real data that they had found and collected, and were ready to compare it and make their own ideas and even make assumptions about what they thought. It was just great to see them have a real purpose behind learning these skills that they would never forget. All right, let's talk about a few of the reflections from this project. While doing their research, these students found out that there are a large percentage of students in the world that come to school without any breakfast at all. And that really got my students, got them pretty hard. And so they voluntarily asked if they could fast. And we had about 80% of our students voluntarily fast one morning, coming in without any breakfast and seeing how that affected their schoolwork. And the blog post they did on this day was just amazing, because they were saying things like how hard it is to focus on learning when your stomach is empty and those type of things. Really powerful things. And here you can see them about 11 o'clock in the morning when it was time for them to finally end their fast and to have a little juice and some granola bar and those type of things. And it was really interesting this day. It was very powerful for what their learning was. And they wanted to take it farther than that, and let's do something about that. So they had little quarter wars in our school, and they wanted to raise about $500 to be able to go to Heifer International and buy a heifer for a family in China. And what it turned out to be is they got in over $1,100 in donations, and were able to buy two, and I think some chickens and those type of things. So they really made some great connections here and took it farther than we ever imagined. And it was great that our students are walking around with these 21st century skills, and it was done in the realm of a fantastic project that they'll remember, hopefully forever. So thank you very much for watching this presentation, and I'm Brad Flickinger with Atomic Learning. So thank you very much.